Hello guys. Today we are starting our series of 4 days 4 promises in JavaScript, in which we are going to learn all about promises in depth. There will be 4 videos in the series and this is the day 1. In today's video, we are going to learn the basics of promises, then and catch, and why do we use promises in the first place. And for that, we also have to learn a little bit about callback functions. And in our upcoming days, we will learn advanced topics such as chaining of multiple promises, returning values from promises, and a quiz, async await, and in the end, we will do a worked example with promises. So let's get started. A promise is like a real-world human-made promise. Either it gets fulfilled or it gets broken. It is a way to handle asynchronous operations and its resulting value. When we want to run our code asynchronously, we use promises, so it doesn't block our execution of code. We create a promise using the promise constructor. This promise constructor takes an executor function in which we pass two parameters, resolve and reject. Resolve is called when the promise is fulfilled and reject is called when an error occurs in the promise. Now comes the actual part. .then method is provided by the promise function and handles the fulfillment of our promise, and it receives the value which we pass in the resolve callback function in our promise. And .catch method handles the rejection of the promise and the error is caught here, and we handle the error properly. Let's understand it with an example. We are going to read a huge file synchronously, and we are using the logger function which tells that how much time it takes for the execution for an instruction for execution. First, we want to print the start statement, then we will read our file, and for confirmation we are printing its content here. Then we will print end in the last instruction. The logger function tells us that how much time it takes from one point to reach from one point to another point of our program. Here we can see that our instructions are executing in the same order as we wrote it in our code. The read file instruction is taking so much time, and it could be anything from 6 milliseconds to 15 seconds. But we don't want our program to be blocked by this time consuming instruction, so we use promises. We are going to convert our read file function, our synchronous read file function, into a promisified read file function. And when we run our program, we can see that our promisified read file function doesn't block the program execution, and it immediately executes the instruction right after the read file operation while it is reading the file. And once the promise gets fulfilled and file is read successfully, we print the content of the file, which we print using the .then method. Another reason to use promises is to avoid callback hell and messy code. First, let's learn about callback functions. Callback functions are the functions which take another function as an argument. Like in this read file function, we are passing a function which takes two parameters, error and data. This is an error first callback function. Both of these are the same file. This one's the scroll down view of this one. Here, we are assuming a situation where we have to read a file and then back up the content of this file on a server, and after backing up on server 1, we have to compress the data of that file, and upon successful compression, we have to back up that compressed data on the second server. And here, we can see that our code is already messy and its readability is reduced. We can also observe that one function is calling another function, another callback function inside it, and when long chains forms like this, we call it the callback hell or the pyramid of doom. And to avoid this, we use promises. If you forgot to subscribe, then subscribe the channel for more content like this.